Before we get started, kindly take a second to ensure you're subscribed. YouTube recently scrubbed 20 subscriptions from our small channel. Ensuring you are subscribed and liking the video will help us grow. Thank you. Sonic Triple Trouble was developed by Aspect as a sequel to the earlier Game Gear and Master System game, Sonic Chaos. We'll be talking about two versions of Sonic Triple Trouble in this video, the first being the well-known and official Sega Game Gear release, and the second being a fan-created reimagining for Windows PC and Android. The game's Japanese name reflects this lineage better, bearing the title Sonic and Tails 2. Aspect Co. is a company Sonic fans should be familiar with. In addition to developing Sonic Triple Trouble and its predecessor Sonic Chaos, they also developed Sonic 2's 8-bit version and Tails Adventure for the Game Gear, but more on that another time. In addition to the name change, the title screen between Sonic and Tails 2 and Sonic Triple Trouble has been completely redone, sporting a different Sonic pose, removing Tails, and adding Knuckles. Triple Trouble introduces a new antagonist to the Sonic the Hedgehog series, Knack the Weasel, aka Fang the Sniper in Japan. Knack was designed by Shinji Higashi, otherwise known as Toma, a well-regarded character artist in Japan who at the time worked for Sega. Interesting to note that Higashi designed a popular line of figures, several of which have an appearance similar to Knack. Knack would go on to make appearances in Sonic the Fighters and Sonic Drift 2. His likeness would appear in Sonic Mania, but not the true character. Since the Master System and Game Gear share much of the same hardware, it's relatively easy to port games between the two systems. As a consequence, every 8-bit Sonic platformer was released on both systems in some form or another. From Sonic 1 to Sonic Blast, every 8-bit game was released on both systems in one region or another. This is with the exception of Sonic Triple Trouble. Prototype materials and magazines suggest it was once to be ported to the Master System, but for whatever reason this didn't happen. In spite of no official Master System port, in 2009 a port of Triple Trouble was made to the Master System. This port was made by hacking scene member Glitch. While the conversion to the Master System does mean the game can make use of fewer colors, the larger resolution and ability to play on a TV make this a fair trade-off. Many other Master System conversions have been made for Game Gear games. Perhaps we'll take a look at them in a future video. There is unused cover art for Triple Trouble by the legendary Greg Martin, known for drawing cover art for many video game franchises in the 1990s, including drawing the cover art for Sonic 2, the 16-bit version, Sonic Chaos, Sonic Spinball, Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man on the Sega Genesis and Game Boy, and many others. Archie Comics had a long-standing monthly Sonic the Hedgehog series between the years of 1993 and 2017. As part of that series, Sonic Triple Trouble was adapted into a 48-page Supersonic special. The story of the comic only loosely follows the game, involving Dr. Robotnik accidentally splitting a Chaos Emerald in half and hiring Knack the Weasel to retrieve them. After splitting, one of the halves of the emerald causes new zones to appear. These new zones are the levels from the game, and the comic features a brief montage of Sonic traversing through all the zones of the game. Meanwhile, the other half of the emerald falls on the floating island, and Knuckles is warned to retrieve it by ancient beings, because should the emerald half meet the Master Emerald, it could destroy the floating island. Eventually, Knack captures Sonic and heads to the floating island to nab the second half of the emerald. There he runs into Knuckles, who punches him in the face and frees Sonic. But Sonic, unaware of his captor, assumes it to be Knuckles, and the pair get into a fight. The two soon realize that Knack is working for Robotnik and work together to subdue their new enemy.
ソニックとテイルズがまだまだゲームギアで大暴れドクターエッグマンナックルズそして新キャラファング盛りだくさんで最新作ソニック&テイルズ2
Fair warning at this part of the video, since Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit is a new release, there will be spoilers and secrets from the game ahead. You have been warned. While there is limited information on the development of the original Triple Trouble for Game Gear, that is not such with the unofficial remake. This is particularly due to the fact the game was created by friend and voice of the channel Noah Copeland. While the following information about the Triple Trouble remake is accurate, not all of it is sourced outside of this video. During an interview with the podcast Procedurally Generated, Noah was asked why he chose to remake Sonic Triple Trouble. Noah stated that his reasons were that it would translate best to Genesis-style gameplay. Because of all the 8-bit Sonic titles, it was closest to capturing the 16-bit gameplay. Originally, Noah intended to make the levels of the game very faithful to the original, reasoning that the level maps were roughly half the size of the Genesis level maps, and scaling the 8-bit maps by 2 and redrawing them with Genesis-style graphics would do the job. The translation did not go as expected. The physics of the Sonic Genesis games were different enough that doing a one-to-one translation of the stages resulted in stages that weren't fit for the physics and were not enjoyable to play. Thus Noah forged ahead with a new direction, reimagining each stage for the 16-bit version, leading to levels that match the flow of the original game, but include a lot of detail and gimmicks not found in the original. There is a second origin to the Triple Trouble remake. Another friend of the channel, D Lightyears, has been making pixel art for 16-bit versions of Triple Trouble since 2010, with the intent of someday finding an engine and making a game out of these concepts and tiles. The team-up of Noah Copeland and D Lightyears gave Noah the art he needed to make his Triple Trouble remake a reality, and over the next 5 years, he did just that. Lightyears is responsible for much of the art in Triple Trouble, and she previously contributed to another unofficial Sonic game, Sonic Time Twisted. She mentioned that Sunset Park and Meta Jungle Zone were the first 2 tile sets conceptualized. Robotnik Winter and Tidal Plant were the most difficult levels to reimagine, requiring the assistance of additional artists. While the game was largely programmed, designed, and scored by Noah Copeland, with art help from D Lightyears, they had support from some long-standing members of the Sonic fan game community. Sprite artist Dolphman, a longtime member of Sonic Retro and the Spriters resource communities, provided many of the 16-bit versions of Triple Trouble Spadniks, item sprites, and other various level graphics and touch-ups. Vector Satire, creator of the movement engine that powered Sonic Time Twisted, and a longtime Sonic scener, consulted on the technical aspects of this project. Popular hacking scene chiptune artist Johnny Tay and DV2 also participated by providing additional tracks for the game. In the 8-bit game, Knack was originally intended to be featured in levels outside of the special stages. While this did not happen, the remake implements this idea by reimagining each of Knack's fights as a mini-boss in the game's proper levels. There is one zone in Triple Trouble 16 that isn't found in the original Game Gear title. That is the single act of Egg Zeppelin, in which Sonic boards a giant Zeppelin of Robotnik's making and destroys it before landing in Robotnik Winter. There's also a hidden zone in Triple Trouble 16. In the original Triple Trouble, the special stages are a mix of these purple rune-style stages and pseudo 3D flight stages using sprite scaling. These purple rune stages are replaced in the remake with a foot race in 3D against Knack that wouldn't look too out of place on a real Genesis. Aside from these special stages looking really cool, this left no use for the purple rune-style special stages. That's why here, in the Triple Trouble remake, it's a hidden zone. The zone is accessed much in the same way that the Hidden Palace zone is accessed in the Sonic 2 remake for Android and iOS, and now in Sonic Origins. To access this zone, just go to the save point before the boss in Robotnik Winter. Run to the left and jump off the cliff. You'll now land in a new zone, Purple Palace Zone. Very cool. Speaking of special stages, one interesting fact is that the idea to retry special stages by spending a life had previously been adapted into fellow fan game Sonic Time Twisted. It's possible that the concept of spending lives to retry special stages also inspired the ability to spend coins to retry special stages in the anniversary mode of Sonic Origins. This idea of spending lives in special stages to retry them originated with One Mercury Silver, one of the developers behind Sonic Time Twisted and Sonic Fan Remix. During development, Noah took great care to limit the color palettes and effects to only what could be reasonably recreated on a real Sega Genesis. Noah wanted the game to feel like a continuation of Sonic 3 and Knuckles down to using enhanced versions of the Sonic 3 sprites and preserving the 4:3 aspect ratio for those who prefer it. The soundtrack for the original Triple Trouble was composed by Yayoi Fujimori. For the reimagining, Noah remixed all the game's original soundtrack using VSTs for emulating the Sega Genesis sound chip, making the game's soundtrack authentic to the capabilities of the Sega Genesis sound hardware. Some of the additional composers on the reimagining soundtrack made use of Deflict Mask, which can output sound data to real Sega Genesis hardware. Like many fan games, Triple Trouble 16-bit reuses graphics from some of the official series. It also borrows graphics from 2 cancelled Sega Technical Institute games. The background tiles from Meta Jungle come from a cancelled Tales spin-off game called Treasure Tales. The rocket ship that takes the player to Atomic Destroyer is a reused asset from a cancelled video game called Spinny and Spike. There's a Badnik from Atomic Destroyer Zone that was intended for the original game, but was cut for unknown reasons. A 16-bit version of this enemy was created for the 16-bit remake and was given an attack in which the Badnik shoots small missiles at the player. To promote the launch of the remake, a comic was created to provide backstory for the 3 villains of the game. Noah also created some 1990s style advertisements for the game, which you can see now.
I'm a cow, and I know trouble when I see it. Yikes! This is Triple Trouble, the new Sonic game for Game Gear. Trouble is doing stupid cheese ads.
It's the cheesiest.
Triple Trouble is Sonic battling the evil Dr. Robotnik, Knuckles, and Knack. But that trouble ain't nothing compared to this. Oh, ow, ow, hey, ow, 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 dig up!
Sonic Triple Trouble and Sega Game Gear, each sold separately, batteries not included.
Thanks to Noah Copeland and D. Lightyears for providing insights into the game's development. Which version of Triple Trouble do you like better? Leave a comment below and let us know. We're trying to reach 100,000 subscribers. You can help by subscribing, hitting the notification bell, and liking the video. In return, we'll make more videos like this. This has been a GameFAQ special.